My name is Daniel Kibblesmith, and I am the writer of New Warriors #1. I got interested in the New Warriors later. I remember seeing them on the shelf when I was a kid, picking up comics in the 90s, and just feeling like they were too cool for me. Like I was intimidated by, Night Thrasher who had a blade coming out of his wrist. Nova was really buff. They were all the edgy characters for the 90s, as the cover said. New Warriors, I thought, were really interesting characters because they occupy this really cool space. They're forever young, but they've now been around for 30 years. My editors on the previous books I'd done, like Loki and Black Panther vs. Deadpool, asked if I would be interested in doing a New Warriors tie-in that actually poses them as the authority figures in this conflict instead of the rebels, and I really liked the
looks a bit cheesy so far, but otherwise nothing too offensive or whatever.
The authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring new warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the outlawed event.
Oh, now I see.
Is making it illegal to be a
Are you
vigilante at the
joking?
age of 21. The artist on New Warriors #1
That's not real, is it?
Vecchio. He designed all of the new Warriors and gave them costumes that felt as modern as the New Warriors costumes to sort of feel classic.
This is like a joke, isn't it?
So the first character that we're introduced to is TRAILBLAZER.
That's what it's like. The picture before was like, it looks a bit cheesy, but I didn't really have a problem with it.
Volunteering at a senior center when this mysterious threat shows up.
TRAILBLAZER.
Rescue, and because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of this new outlawed law, and she inherited from her grandfather a magic backpack of divine origin. We picked the name TRAILBLAZER because she charges into action. She knows that she can do some good with this, mysterious gift that she.
How modern is that backpack, though?
SCREENTIME is
and it's of divine origin.
Sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his
this
grandfather's
artifact.
experimental internet gas, and that has patched him permanently into the World Wide Web. The word SCREENTIME is only ever used in a sort of restrictive sense. And because we're doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them.
So here we go.
I liked the idea that he has infinite screen time. SNOWFLAKE and SAFESPACE are the twins, and their names are very similar.
Oh, no. How is this possible? How is this possible? Like, this isn't literally an actual employee at Marvel, like a multi-billion-pound corporate company. This can't possibly be real. This has got to be some sort of like joke, right? Like a really well-made sort of like, oh, let me pretend I'm going to talk in front of the camera and I'm going to pretend to be an employee and this is what could happen. There's no way someone hired someone to do this. Like, you are SNOWFLAKE and SAFESPACE. So what are they trying to do? What? It's like the N-word or something? You're trying to own it? Like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't work with something like SNOWFLAKE. Like, with the N-word, that's fine. Like, I don't want to go down that road, obviously, but I don't care about that, But for SNOWFLAKE and SAFESPACE, that's kind of how it came across, though, to me. It was like, well, we get called SNOWFLAKE and SAFESPACE, so we're going to own that word, and we're going to call ourselves that, so that way it doesn't affect, what? It doesn't work with SNOWFLAKE. It works with the, word, but it doesn't work with SNOWFLAKE and SAFESPACE. How could you be called SAFESPACE? It's 2 words in one. How is that a name? SAFESPACE. What? Look at it. Wait, one of them's a girl and one of them's a boy, and they kind of both have almost exactly the same bulge as well. I can't help but be slightly distracted by that. I'm not sure which one's got the bigger bulge. Is this like another sort of like thing about modern times? Oh my god.
It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around on the internet that they don't see as derogatory, to take those words and kind of wear them.
Okay, first of all, I wasn't going to say anything originally when I straight up looked at this, because I don't like to sort of like be mean or anything like that, just to judge someone off their looks. But yes, initially, I wanted to give him justice to speak first before I let my judgments be accurate. Do you know what I mean? totally looks like a cuck. Do you know what I mean? Like the ultimate soy boy. Couldn't like try harder. Like he's got like this kind of really weak chin, super wispy beard, and just shave the head for God's sake. Like these little bits of wisps at the top here. And he's almost like rounded librarian feminine glasses. Like everything about, I mean, he also looks like he's got like the body of an 8-year-old child. Okay, well that's being a bit mean, but okay, I'm just saying what I'm thinking, okay? And now I can feel more justified in saying it after what I've just seen.
As badges of honor. SAFESPACE is kind of a big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else.
Why does he have pink earrings?
Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them. Snowflake has the power to generate...
What? What? What did he just say? They, them?
Fields, but he can only trigger them if he's protecting somebody else. Snowflake is non-binary and goes by they, them. Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens. The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile. And this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. Snowflake is the person who has the more offensive power, and SAFESPACE is the person who has the more defensive power.
Well, at least that makes sense.
They would mirror each other and complement each other. B negative is the goth kid. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers. B negative also is obviously a pun. It's a blood type, which is great for a vampire character, and it's also a proud ownership of the idea of having a bad attitude. I want the people who read our New Warriors
very androgynous.
to feel all of the excitement that they felt if they read the 90s one. We want it to have big, colorful characters, personality clashes, romance.
So where's the male character out of all of these? Because I see the male characters here. What?
A diverse cast, which is something that the New Warriors titles have always strived to make a priority. Every New Warriors comic has always felt like a reflection of the year that it came out. And I don't think we're worried about being dated. I think we're way more interested about it being now.
Bro, that is... Like... I genuinely thought that this is like a really well-made parody. Because you could easily do a parody. You could pretend to be an employee of Blizzard or something and talk about a game that you're creating that obviously isn't really a game that's coming out for Blizzard. And, you know, if you put on a straight enough face and stuff like that and put in some nice flashy clips and stuff, you could actually almost make it convincing. But who gave the go-ahead for this? Like... who's this serving? Like 0.01% of the population? I mean, the thing is I don't really know comics very well, but there's so many of them, right? So at least you can kind of make this work as a comic because it's niche. Like, there's all sorts of niche comics, right? So maybe it'll sell. It will still sell. Oh, it'll probably still sell because it's by Marvel, but it's concerning because it's going to be bought by all the youngsters, and the youngsters are going to see this trash and then just going to further affirm this terrible culture that is currently being raised amongst our youth. It's just... I mean, never has the phrase "man up" been more appropriate. And me saying that would probably trigger the hell out of the people that would buy this comic. But my goodness, do you need to man up? Whew. I'm going to take a quick look at the comments. 2.7k and 100k. Oh my god. Look at that bar. Look at that bar. What? 80s characters reflected what was fun about the 80s. 90s characters reflected what was cool about the 90s. Modern characters reflect only the stupidest aspects of our time. Great. Yeah, I mean, can we do some more justice to like not every kid is like a freaking soy boy like snowflake safe space moron. There are a lot of cool, smart kids out there, but they get absolutely trashed these days because of the dumbest ones that get all the attention. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, what a terrible time to be alive as a kid. Even LBGTQ doesn't like this. This has no fans. Nobody likes the current state of Marvel. Yeah, that's what I was really thinking. This can't possibly be real. It's a parody. Has to be. Yeah, that was also true. Like that's why I was saying it feels like they're kind of trying to own the word, but it is also kind of taking the mick, right? That's how I kind of look at it. They're taking the mick out of themselves by trying to own the word, but it's not a type of word that you try to own. Like, it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of meaning that other words do when you try to own those. The like-dislike ratio gives me hope in this time of pandemic. Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, that's the way to go. Okay, well, there you go. That's New Warriors trailer Marvel Comics. Thanks, Badito, for linking that. Appreciate it.